I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today, I have the awesome pleasure of being with Professor Bacoat, who is a subject matter expert in marine biology, and this is a wonderful segment for STEAM. So we have this big push in the nation where we're trying to push not just the boys, but the girls into the science and the technology, and here we are. You are here. We're going to have an up-close and personal conversation about all of these great things. But this is the world that you live in. And I just want to thank you. I'm so impressed that you went through so much effort to make sure that you could share this with us. And just as you were bringing things in, I realized as much as I like shrimp, I didn't know what I thought I knew about shrimp. So you are never too old to learn. But you shared with me before we got started that you're from Baltimore.
Yes.
So how did we get to Georgia, and how did you become this marine biologist, which is unusual for people that look like us, you know?
Well, my first experience with Georgia was when I went to undergrad.
Okay.
Morehouse College.
Oh, HBCU. Mm-hmm. I should have known. Yes, we're always brilliant. All of the HBCU graduates. Okay. So you came to Morehouse, to Atlanta. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, I went to school up and down the East Coast, University of Miami, University of Rhode Island.
Anywhere there was water.
Exactly.
So you're a human fish. You just have to, you gravitate to where the water is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love the water, I love the salt water.
Salt water, I heard that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so once you finished all of your academic trainings, which it seems like you're continuing with all of these other projects I learned about before we got started, you decided to get married, beautiful, brilliant wife, have a family, and then started another venture. So we have Bacoat Farms.
Yeah.
So that's another arm to what you're doing in your other profession.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How about that? So at the farm, we know we have fish.
We have fish, we have terrestrial plants such as salmons, muscadines.
Now what are we calling those? Terrestrial plants?
Terrestrial plants, agricultural plants, plants that are grown in the dirt.
Okay, see, you're teaching me. And you're probably teaching some other people, because a lot of us, you know, if that's not our wheelhouse, we don't get it. Like when you brought the shrimp in. Mm-hmm. And I said, what type of shrimp? And I did take a picture of it before we started, and you said they were grass shrimp.
Yes, grass shrimp.
And then in my lack of knowledge and understanding, I said, the shrimp growing grass? And you smiled, and you were very kind, and you said, the grass that's in the water.
Right.
Well, in my mind, as limited, and I am a college graduate of a HBCU, but that was not my area of expertise. I'm a social worker by profession. I thought they all had to be out in the middle of the ocean or in the bay. Mm-hmm. So I just learned something about these. So these will grow to be big, or?
These grass shrimp will stay small. These
okay.
are different from the ones that you eat.
Okay.
These stay small, and they're perfect for fishing.
So you would use them as a bait. Mm-hmm. Okay. See, I didn't know that. So we have shrimp that's used to put on the hook to mm-hmm. catch the bigger fish. Mm-hmm. All right. So with this aquariums, do we feed these to other fish?
You can. You can. Most people use them as an ornamental fish. So just a pretty fish that you put in your aquarium.
Okay, an ornamental fish. See, and aquariums are a lot of work. And you need to know what you're doing, and everything, you can't put everything in the aquarium together.
Right. You
got to know what you're mixing and matching. Mm-hmm. Right. So, okay, so people like me don't need an aquarium. No, because you really need to be educated, because I hear people say, I bought a lot of this to go in the aquarium, and this one ate up the fish and all of that. So they're buying what they think is pretty, but you have to buy what's compatible.
Exactly.
Okay. And so how do people find that out? Do we just Google that stuff, or, because everybody won't have the pleasure of sitting with a professor that could teach that?
For the most part, when you buy your fish, I mean, they'll tell you have a description on there. Mm-hmm. This fish is compatible with other fish. Mm-hmm. For example, if you have a crayfish or a grass shrimp, It'll be written in the description.
And it'll say don't mix with, or, okay. Well, I think it's probably, too much work for me. But in your other, beside your personal venture with Bacoat Farms, you teach farmers.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that might not know, our main industry in Georgia, we are very agrarian in the state of Georgia, and particularly in the 2nd Congressional District, which is where you live and work. And so through the extension, you are teaching farmers what they need to know.
Right.
Okay, so is this just about with fish or with the plants, or what's your main focus?
And my main focus is with the fish, with aquaculture.
Okay.
Another
Aquaculture.
aquaculture.
Okay, that's AUQ. Okay, not agriculture, but aqua, which means water.
Right.
Okay, I just want to say that for our grassroots people, because for when you live in a brilliant world with brilliant people, and I have to say this to other people that I know, you have to break it down to the lowest common denominator so we can follow that brilliant mind. Okay, so you're working with them in terms of fish.
And fish, and also aquaponics.
So what is that?
That is growing fish and plants together.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Aqua what?
Aquaponics.
Ponics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you're helping the farmers, for those people that I like brim and crappie, but you said, well, a lot of Southerners like catfish, and so you're teaching them a lot about how to maintain.
How to maintain them, how to grow them. Mm-hmm.
And how to grow them.
Right.
So we are growing fish like in the private pond, when you see on the box when it'll say corn fed or whatever the feed is, a private pond, or
Yeah, you can grow them in ponds, you can grow them in tanks. Many different ways you can grow them. You can grow them in the ocean. You can grow them everywhere.
okay, so that's something we're gonna have to talk about that. Well, what we're gonna do is go to our sponsors and we'll come back and continue. I want to pick up there because we were at an island. We were in Jamaica, and we saw the fishermen, and they were on this regular routine. So I think you can explain that to me so I can understand what they were doing. Okay, all right. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rhymes Bacoat is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this very educational visit with Professor Bacoat. We are so lucky to have him here in the Peach State. We stole him from Maryland. He came to the Morehouse College, very prestigious HBCU. He's brilliant, he's chilled, he's humble, because a lot of folks with this, all that information that you have, they would be sending off, they would be flamethrowers in the middle of the room trying to impress people with that knowledge. But I like, just even this morning, how you came in and as you set up this and the aquarium and everything I asked you about the fish and then the live green, which I can probably grow that because it just requires water. I don't have a green thumb. But before we go to the aquarium and what you brought today to show, I want you to go back and explain to me, because we were having a conversation. We were in Jamaica, and we saw the fishermen going out. And they were always going to these same spots, and we watched them every day, every morning, and every evening, every night. And we was like, what are they doing? So you said something to me in the conversation we was having, is like they were chasing or tracking or?
Yeah, it depends on exactly what type of fish they were getting. In Jamaica, I'm guessing they might have been, I don't know if they were spear fishing or, casting a line like that. But I don't know what type of fish they were getting. But most likely Jamaica, clear water. If they weren't going out too far, they might have been spear fishing.
Okay.
So they know exactly where to go, where the fish hang out. It's probably a coral reef somewhere.
Okay, near the coral reef. Because I was like, why they keep going to the same place?
Right.
So and of course you're a scuba diver, so you know what it looks like under there. Well, I don't want to know how to do all of that because I just want to be on this side of the water looking at it because I have a fear of that deep water, but that's what attracts you. You want to be in there swimming with the fish. Right. Okay. So that's how you've learned besides your the theory. You've seen a lot of the practical because you live it in your personal and in your professional life. Okay. All right. And so with the big fish, the shows, and we were talking about that. What are they doing when they?
Okay, so the big fish like the tuna, the tuna are chasing the bait fish.
What's the bait fish?
The bait fish are the smaller fish.
Okay. The ones they can eat.
Right.
Okay.
Might be a butterfish or a ballyhoo. The smaller fish, that's what they're chasing. And so the tuna are chasing the bait fish, and the fishermen, they are looking for the bait fish. They're looking for the commotion. So they might have a drone or something up in the air.
Now my husband would like that because he does robotics for DOD. So now the fishermen are using drones so they can see the activity in the water.
Yeah, they might be using a drone. Some of them even use airplanes.
Really?
Spotter planes, right. Just searching the whole area, looking for the commotion in the ocean. Looking for the tuna that's, chasing the bait fish. And the water's just boiling over.
Really?
That's how you know that's where you need to go.
Right, and that's where all the action is, so they can go and catch the fish for today.
Right.
Yeah, because I do watch on the Discovery Channel. I like all of that stuff, and as I shared with you, our good friend Dr. Brian Davis is CEO at the Georgia Aquarium, and he's flying all over the world with getting animals, sharks, and all of that, and bringing them, to Atlanta. And then he also has his own farm like you. So I guess all of y'all marine biologists, scientists, people, y'all just love being in that environment. So now we're using drones, we use spotter airplanes, and all of that. Right. So this is not just a one-lane career. As a marine biologist, like you said, you're working with our farmers here in Georgia with the aqua, right? So then on the other side, people might be working with what? Just sharks or turtles?
Sharks, turtles, environmental areas such as, the climate is warming.
Right.
And so the ocean is becoming more acidic.
Hot.
It's becoming more hot. Different species are dying. We're trying to figure out what's going on. How can we help these species? So there are just many different types, different areas of marine biology that you can get.
So my point is, because we're trying to put these STEAM and STEM and STEAM and whatever, all of the acronyms, into the schools. And we're trying to bring in students that normally would not be exposed to that. And I do know at the Georgia Aquarium, they are certified now. But what you're saying is not that you just do this and then you're a professor. Right. You don't just have to teach.
No.
You don't just, that's your side thing. You can still do all these other things in addition to. There are a lot of areas of expertise that people can be within that major.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of different areas. And for me, it's growing fish. That's what I love to do. For other people, it might be working at SeaWorld.
Training the dolphins. And kissing and swimming with the dolphins. Okay, so you would have a degree in marine biology to be out there swimming with the dolphins.
Most likely.
Most likely, because you need to understand the fish and what is required.
Yes.
Right. Now, that was the one thing that I know you're all going to be taking your son there for his birthday to the Georgia Aquarium, but we did a behind-the-scenes tour, and we were just shocked that the fish there actually even had doctors and their own medical records. Because what? You just told me with the fish you brought and the shrimp, they're different. And so we learned at the Georgia Aquarium that what? Every species needed something different. So the fish you brought here today,
Yes.
What are those called?
These are koi. We have koi over here and mosquito fish.
Okay, so what does a mosquito fish do?
A mosquito fish is famous for eating mosquito.
They really do eat mosquitoes.
Mosquito babies, the mosquito larvae, the mosquito babies. When the mosquitoes lay their eggs in the water,
Right.
and they hatch out, the little larvae hatch out. That's what the mosquito fish loves to eat.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so they can help us with keeping control of the mosquito population. No, because I was thinking wherever there was water, and that's why they say don't have standing water, you're going to have a lot of mosquitoes.
Exactly.
But we actually have a fish that Mother Nature thought of, that put in place, that's going to eat a lot of those.
Yeah. A majority of fish will eat mosquito larvae, but the mosquito fish is known for eating mosquito larvae.
All right. Okay, and so at your farms, you are growing fish, and you told me you had catfish, which I don't like the way they look, but most Southerners love catfish. And then I like brim, so you have some brim.
Yes.
And I like crappie. And you asked me what did I know about crappie? Well, my daddy used to go fishing, and that's what he would catch. Is that something you would put in at your Bacoat farms with what's in there already?
Yes. What, fishing? You're talking about fishing?
Right. Could you put the crappie in with that? With the brim?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
But you do have to be careful with the crappie because they like to eat the smaller fish.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Okay, but what we're going to do now is go to our break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. The Miley Agency, 4903 Armour Road. Gerald L. Miley and William Rip Singer have been providing comprehensive reviews and insuring families in Georgia and Alabama for more than 50 years. The Miley Agency will work non-stop to find you the best policy at the best price. You can rest assured that your information is secure, confidential, and protected. Call today at 706-996-2045. Adjuster Source 101. Sign up today for the Insurance Claims Adjuster virtual course. The All Lines license allows an adjuster to work claims in residential, commercial, inland marine, ocean marine, and workers' comp, Georgia property and casualty, Alabama property and casualty, and additional states. For more information, call 470-724-1050 or info@adjustersource101.com. David Benefield at the historic Highland Hall, florist extraordinaire, making dreams come true for all occasions. Visit David and his team today at 1504 17th Street or call 706-324-4881, where happiness blooms. The Columbus Memory Center, 7196 North Lake Drive, Suite A, Columbus. Dr. Jonathan Liss is a board-certified neurologist and sleep specialist committed to battling Alzheimer's by preserving independence, offering you the opportunity to get your memory number for free, the only vital sign for brain health. Call today at 706-327-4000 or visit columbusmemorycenter.com. And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this visit with the brilliant Professor Bacoat. So humble, so chilled, but I guess you would need to be that to be under the sea. I will sit by the sea and watch you go under the sea. I'm not going under the sea with you. So you always fished. You told me that you had a love for fish as a child.
Yes, I love fishing.
You love it. Was it just the sport? Was it competitive? Because right here in Eufaula, Alabama, we have a big competition for people that fish. See, I didn't know that. One of my friends from the TV station, her child was participating in that one year. And I said, really? She was like, yeah, people come from all over the world, to compete as fishermen.
It was a little bit of competitiveness. I was in a few derbies.
Really?
Small fishing derbies, you get to catch the biggest fish, you won a prize.
Right.
First, second, third, a cash prize, something like that. So, but for the most part, I love eating the fish.
Oh, okay. So you would clean them.
Oh, yeah.
And cook them. Okay, all right.
Fry
So we
them.
can look forward to that. Okay.
Yeah.
When it's fall and cool, we can fry the fish. Some of that you're growing. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you decided to go to Morehouse, family, mom, dad, everybody was behind you. They supported you. So when you went to Morehouse, you knew you were going to go to marine biology, or you were looking at something else?
I was in biology. I was really looking into medicine. But I remember I wanted to take a marine biology course, but they didn't really offer it.
At what you needed.
Right. And so
that's how you ended up at the University of Miami after you left Morehouse.
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, by way of. But you finally got to where you were supposed to be.
Right.
And see, I can speak to that because a lot of the things that we start out when we first go to college, what we think we're really going there for is really not what the passion is. And just talking to you, when you talk about the fish, you light up. So you can tell that it's a joy. See, if it's your passion, it's not a chore. And so as you were explaining to me, every time you taught me something about the marine life, you were smiling. So that is where you're supposed to be, is working in this. So we by way of, because we don't want to run out of time, you left Morehouse and you went to the University of Miami.
Correct.
And so who was that great professor?
Dr. Benetti.
Okay. And what were you all working on there?
We were working on culturing and growing cobia.
Cobia.
Yes.
Okay. Now what does that look like, taste like? Is it a strong fish?
Yeah, it's a very strong fish. It's a black and white fish. It has like mostly black with a white stripe in it. Kind of looks like a remora, the little fish that swims along with the sharks. Looks similar to that, but it's a little different.
Okay.
That's a cobia.
And we can eat that.
You can eat it.
But it's kind of expensive.
A little bit on the expensive
Is it
side.
more like red snapper prices and at that price?
Yes.
Okay, but not as expensive as the tuna.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. And so you really got into that. What's the name of that again?
Cobia.
Cobia, down at the University of Miami.
Yeah.
So you went down there and you were swimming with the fish and growing the fish. And then when you were done, and what was the professor's name?
Dr. Benetti.
So Dr. Benetti really pushed you.
Yes.
To help you to move toward what really your calling was. Because what you thought you were going to do when you left home, really, we take a detour to get to what you really are supposed to be doing. And that's okay. All of us do that, So we left Miami working with and growing those fish. And then you went to
The University of Rhode Island.
the University of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do at the university? Always on the water, though.
Always on the water.
Okay, and you say it's salt water.
Salt water.
Okay.
Not salt
So
water.
we gotta have the ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what did we do at the University of Rhode Island?
At the University of Rhode Island, it was a bit of a continuation with the cobia, and so we kind of stepped it up a notch to a larger fish. We're working with tuna.
Tuna.
Yes.
Wow.
Yellowfin tuna, bluefin tuna.
So you love tuna.
I love tuna.
Can you prepare it properly?
Can I prepare it
Yeah.
properly?
See, you gotta be a chef.
Tuna
You gotta
fish.
be able to, no, not tuna fish. You gotta be able to go catch that tuna, invite us over, go on this tour and come back and invite us out to the Bacoat farms and prepare it for us and show us the right way it's supposed to be done. So we have the yellowfin and what else?
Yellowfin tuna and bluefin tuna.
Okay, so I see. That's a cultural difference because a lot of us know tuna in what?
In the can.
In the can. So those are the cultural differences. I'm just saying, and in my other life, I was a social worker, and as I shared with you, I worked with kids from 5 public housing projects, and they probably, some of them, which they're adults now, but back then, probably only knew chicken of the sea, which is what? Tuna in a can. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so from the love of the tuna, then you end up married, got your own business, Bacoat Farms. What made you decide on catfish, which I don't like their whiskers. I don't like the way they look. So I can't eat them. And then the brim. You told me you had brim. I like crappie. What else can we put in there and they'll survive?
Many different fish. You could put bass,
Okay.
Striped bass.
I like those.
You could put shrimp in there.
Really?
Freshwater shrimp, prawns.
Really? Because we lived in the Pacific Northwest. I didn't know what, I just assumed, again, lack of knowledge, ignorance on my part. I thought that I didn't realize that you could grow prawns in fresh water.
Right, yes.
So we can do that.
Yes, certain, in the beginning stages, they need a little bit of salt water, but as they grow out and get larger, they're fresh water.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what's the long range plan? I know we have some blueberries, we got muscadines, we got spices, we got herbs. We got a little bit of everything over there.
A little bit of everything, right.
And then, of course, you have your internal aquariums. So we're not going to build a big aquarium out there, are we? Outside.
It's possible.
All right. See, that's what I like. Okay, so when you get it all done, will this be open to the public?
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to come back when you're ready to do all of that, because I'm very excited just to see a young African American, brilliant and humble in a field like this. I'm just so very proud as a mother and a grandmother, and that's why I wanted to do this visit with you today, because you say, without even saying it, it's okay to be brilliant and smart and still be a young African American. And that's what I want our young black males to see, someone that looks like you. So just so you know, and I've told your wife, the beautiful Dr. Jada Rhymes, I am your agent. When they want you, they must speak to me. Do we agree on that?
We agree.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.